All right, now I just want to point out a few charts that that you might be interested in that I noticed on my radar screen. One is Applied Materials, AMAT. Now AMAT looks like it's getting ready to take off. And by that I mean it's getting ready to challenge its prior high. What was its prior high? At 1477, 1480, somewhere in there, 1498 even. It closed at 1447, but looks like it's poised to challenge the $15 level and take that out. Now let's see if on a weekly basis what AMAT looks like. I'm even more bullish or more constructive about this chart structure on a weekly basis, because it looks like it's in very good technical shape and will challenge the $15 level and take that out. Where can it go? Well, on a weekly basis, if we draw in the channel, let's see what the channel tells us. Channel tells us maybe 16.5. What about a Fibonacci recovery level? The next Fibonacci recovery level is 1544, which would retrace this entire 50% of this entire move. So 15.5, 1540 is an important level, and then 17, with the 1650 area being a reasonable upper channel target zone. What would be discouraging about this chart if it failed to go up? Well, I would think that if AMAT broke below $13.97, then or $14, then there would be problems, especially if it couldn't move higher first. So $14 would be a key level. If that breaks, Applied Materials, all bets are off in terms of this chart. In a different sector, the pharmas. You know, I've liked Bristol Myers for quite a while. Gotten bounced around a few times in Bristol, and certainly this correction in the sector was deeper and more severe than I thought. But let's notice two things about Bristol Myers. Number one, last week into its smash, it managed to hold. Friday's low was 24.12, and 24.12 was 3 cents shy of actually touching the rising 200-day. Off of the 200-day, Bristol rallied back to close it at 24.74, which was up on the day. So Bristol made an upside reversal on Friday off of its 200-day. Number two is that you notice the prior pullback low in Bristol was to 23.5. This one was to 24.12. So it's preserved its series of higher highs and higher lows all throughout this rally phase from January. So I have Bristol on my radar screen because it looks like it finished a correction and will embark on another up leg. Now, on a weekly basis, what do we see in Bristol? Let's see, let me condense this. So we also have a massive uptrend in Bristol, higher lows, higher highs, going back all the way to October of 08, and it looks like Bristol got sufficiently oversold. I have a reason to believe that this upside reversal has meaning, and as long as this 24 level holds, I want to buy it. I want to buy some weakness in Bristol, or if it rallies, to see if it consolidates and goes sideways, to give me an opportunity to get long Bristol again. All right, so that's Bristol Myers in the pharma section, and one more in pharma is Merck. Now I haven't talked about Merck in a long time, and I think that Friday's massive upside reversal on the daily chart is a signal that that the pullback or the down move from January 21st at 41.56 into Friday's low at 33.54 is complete, and that Merck may be starting a new up leg. It closed, it had 2 days below its 200-day, closed above it on Friday. It looks like it should continue higher. If we condense this, we can see what happened. Merck had a very big up move from its February low at what, $20. Is that February or March? Well, it looks like its March low, that is at, well, I'm talking about March 09 at $20, and this series of higher highs, higher lows, it remains intact. This was a severe correction, which leads me to believe this was a correction of this entire up leg, and if so, then Merck is poised to move into a new up leg. All right, let's go over to the weekly chart and see if we can make the case that Merck, now this is a, nope, we want weekly. All right, now this is the Merck weekly chart. Now the Merck weekly chart doesn't look nearly as positive as the daily chart, which may be telling us that Merck, while it will rally maybe back to 39 and change from, you know, where did it close on Friday exactly? 35 and change, which would be a nice rally. Maybe it needs to do more work here. Maybe there's a more pronounced correction coming, or in progress. That is to say, multi-month. So just maybe Merck comes up here, comes back down here, goes back up. So, in conclusion about Merck, doesn't look quite as dynamic to me as Bristol Myers. And on a daily chart basis, where'd the daily go? Let's get rid of that. This is the daily chart basis. I think there's a trade here in Merck. And that trade, if it gets back to its prior, its intermediate, or I should say corrective trend line, resistance line, it goes up to 37.60. I'm going to keep an eye on this one to see how it performs after, in the aftermath of last Friday's upside reversal. That could provide us with hints about how strong this Merck chart is. All right, so that's the pharma, and then I wanted to just share with you some pictures of some problems. Okay, so not everything is performing well. All right, Qualcomm has just had the toughest time. I don't know what's going on in Qualcomm, but it definitely is not performing well. And for those of you who are enamored with Qualcomm, and it has in the past performed extremely well, this decline, downgrades and all sorts of things in Qualcomm, looks like it needs to hold 36 and change, or there will be real trouble in Qualcomm. On a weekly basis in Qualcomm, let's see what that looks like. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Alright, now, the weekly in Qualcomm shows the same, pretty much the same thing as the daily, that it had better hold that 36 level, or it will retest the prior low at 35.5, and if that breaks, look out below in Qualcomm. So, if it does hold 36 and change, then I think Qualcomm will look for a signal in Qualcomm on the upside, and all of this action, perhaps all of this action, is some sort of sideways configuration that after it tests this trend line again, Qualcomm will go back up to the $45, $48 level, and it could be a very interesting intermediate term trade, but is a problem right now. Another problem is Walmart. Now, that's the Walmart daily.